Alright, y'all. So, stay with me here.
Okay.
What are the chances that we have been living in a simulated reality this whole time?
Pretty likely, honestly.
Yeah. Did you read?
No, that's just a hypothesis I have.
Oh, nice, cool.
But I'm ready to hear why my opinion is correct.
You read my thoughts? Alright, cool. I don't even need them to say it, except it's not for you.
It's for everybody else.
It's for everybody else. To answer, as Gabe said, it's very likely that we are. And it's a fun reason why. That's just, like, really uncomfortable for everyone included. But yeah, if we were, how would this really affect us? Would we be upset? What are the thoughts around it? I ultimately argue.
Yeah.
It don't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, what difference does it make?
Yeah, it's our version of real.
Yeah.
It's real to us.
Yeah.
And what I think is that we don't exist outside of this reality. We're brains in a box. You unplug it, there's no, like, secret society that you go out to and defend the human race against an army of machines. It's like, nah, you don't have a body. There's no body.
You're just done.
You just don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Your conception of your body is just a bunch of signals in your brain saying you have parts. So,
yes.
like, you maybe don't.
Have parts? Wait, what?
Yeah, so I'll explain.
I'm ready.
Yes. So I think the biggest thing is that if you think this isn't a possibility, you're wrong. Scientists and philosophers actually research this in a big way. And it's pretty realistic that there's a possibility that we could be in a simulation. And it's funny because I was, like, doing a lot of research around this, and I'm not a scientist. Just for everyone.
That's important, yeah.
This is a disclaimer.
Yes.
But I'd read stuff that made me think this was real.
Yeah.
So the idea is that if there is a simulation of, like, our existence, that it's supposedly controlled by a post-human civilization, be that aliens, robots, whatever. It's like something more evolved than us.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of, like, schools of thought around this, philosophy, science alike, where the idea is, so yeah, it essentially can't be proven or unproven.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way to feasibly find out.
Yeah.
So, like...
But there's also no way to prove that it's not real.
Exactly. So, in terms of, like, statistics...
Yeah.
Could it happen? 50-50 chance. Because you can't say yes or no.
Yeah.
And there's, like... I was reading, like, all the reasons that people think this is a thing versus all the ones that don't think this is a thing. And all of them were like, it's dumb. We can't prove it, so why... Just, like, it doesn't exist. And then all the ones who... It was just really dumb the whole time. Yeah. Like, all the ones that were, like, they had, like, reasons and science, and also it's just, like, based on, like, all these factors, it's like, there's no way to prove we're not. And it's also very likely that we are, if we're saying that, like, something post-human is creating simulations of the, like, upbringing of their society.
Mm-hmm.
That it would be likely that we would be in a simulation. There's also, there's a big philosopher... I don't know if he's, like, big physically. I mean, big in terms of big time.
All right. Bold.
You know.
This poor guy.
Philosopher that argues that there are, like, three possibilities. One, that we're...
Wait, what's the philosopher's name?
You know...
Sorry.
Here's his name. I have his paper up. I had... That alcohol messed me up. Yeah. Nick Bostrom is a philosopher who argues basically three or four things. He says, one, the human species is very likely to go extinct before reaching a post-human stage. Two, any post-human civilization is extremely unlikely to run a significant number of simulations of their evolutionary history or variations thereof. Three, we are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. It follows that the belief that there is a significant chance that we will one day become post-humans who run ancestor simulation is false, unless we are currently living in a simulation. So it's like, if it's possible, it's happening, but if it's not, then it's not.
Yeah,
is ultimately the argument, and you can't prove either, so here we are.
Yeah.
There's other reasons that this makes sense, though. So in my research, you have the whole idea where it's like, what I was saying is that we obviously have our brains in a box. Like, we don't, the only way we know that we exist is from the signals in our brain, kind of like shooting little signals around, and that's how we process our reality. So there is a TED Talk that I watched.
Therefore I am.
Exactly. Gabe, you know what's up. You know. So there's a TED Talk I watched called Your Brain Hallucinates Your Conscious Reality by Anil Seth. So in his TED Talk, he basically runs through how our brain perceives our environment and argues that we are constantly fluctuating between a state of controlled and uncontrolled hallucinations. So, if you...
Hallucinations.
Yeah, you got what I'm saying. Hallucinations.
Ghouls and Stern, we have fun. It tastes like whiskey, smells like whiskey. I don't know what else I expected.
That are motivated by our perceptions of, like, the rules that are designed by our brain. So it's like, he's ultimately arguing that instead of outward coming in, deciding what we see and how we are and what we are doing, it's more in going out. Okay. So the rules that we decide in our brain as kind of like best guesses for how stuff's supposed to work define how we perceive what's in front of us. So if we have no way to process, because we've never seen an example of it previously, something that's in front of us, we may not even see that thing.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I first got Animal Crossing and they were talking really fast, I didn't know that that's what it was, and I was like, what are they saying? Like, I can read what they're saying, but, like, I didn't really at first register that they were just talking very quickly. And then you said that they were talking very quickly, and then now I understand what they say when they talk to me.
Marvelous.
Because before, my brain didn't have the understanding that that could be a thing. And then once presented with the reality that it could be a thing, my brain now processed the dialect different. Yeah. So basically, our brain looks for what rules govern the earth, society, whatever, uses those as best guess answers to the things that we see every day going forward. So in his TED Talk, he actually has this like cool presentation where he does the same thing as the Animal Crossing analogy I just gave. So he plays audio really like warped and like wonky, I guess, and no one understood what it was saying. Yeah. And then he played the real audio clip for everybody and then did the same thing again, and you heard it. Yeah. Instantly.
Well, it's like on those like ghost shows where they like have like that weird just like sounds that they recorded, but then they'll put subtitles and it's like, get out of my house. But it's like, it's just like,
exactly. But like now we hear it.
Oh my gosh, they're saying house.
Yeah. So that's how our brain perceives our environment around us. So if we have like these preconceived notions, like a brain is not able to actually see what's happening. So it has to kind of go based on the rules that we've given it, or like our conscious mind has given it. So he goes on to say, there is no light or sound inside a skull. All you got to go on is a stream of electrical impulses, which are only indirectly related to things in the world, whatever they may be. So perception, figuring out what is there, has to be a process of informed guesswork in which the brain combines these sensory signals with its prior expectation or beliefs about the way the world is to form its best guess of what caused those signals. So the world sees what the world sees is much more from the inside out instead of the outside in. And he also goes on to say that like whatever a collective hallucination is what reality is for the most of society. Yeah. So that's how we like decide colors and what's normal and all that stuff. Because if the most people look at green and say, that's green. Yeah. We're like, then everyone thinks that's green. Where, you know, the whole dress thing. Yeah. With the two different dresses, it's like whatever you have associated with that color, that's the one you're going to see now. And that's how your brain perceives things. And it's all a lie. Is what I'm saying. So this is why I think we could have our brain in a box.
Yeah.
If our brain has never seen anything and it's being fed the idea of what the world is, we have no reason to question that if we don't have the actual reality of eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, with the whole, as you were saying, in life, outside of the ghouls, when we record, the whole, my eyes hurt because you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Did I ruin it?
No, we'll talk about it again.
Nice.
Fine.
So basically, you know, if you've never actually, we could be in a box because if we've never actually existed.
Seen outside of the box.
The box is the world.
Yeah.
Whatever's being fed to our brains is what our perception of reality is.
And it doesn't make it any less the world. Exactly. It still is the world. Exactly. Even if it's the box.
You literally just said my first thought.
I'm sorry.
I love
say
you
it now.
so much.
Okay.
You're so great.
Okay, good.
Okay. So when I say this,
I'm not sorry.
So if we're like thinking that we're in this, if we're thinking that we're in a simulation, is that like less than? So like people who are like, we need to get out.
Red pill, rabbit hole, other analogies.
What I'm arguing is that there is no out.
Okay.
There's no like tubes that pop out of our body, and then we slide down this wonderful water
Gloopy slide
into nothingness, and then the big
and then they
robot machine
learn your muscles how to move.
Taught us how they got him on the first try. Absolutely not with that claw machine. That's not how it works. So you have to you get him by his one finger, pull him up slowly,
break his arm.
Exactly, but he doesn't know because he never used his arm before. He's like atrophied. All
Can't
over.
use it. Yeah. I watched Kill Bill.
That
happened to her.
So yeah, if we're arguing that like within the simulation, whatever governs that simulation, we are not in charge of it. So like consequences still exist.
Yeah.
Your life as it is governed entirely by whatever the laws of the simulation are. Mm-hmm. So like if you think you're going to get out of it by dying, I think it's very unlikely that that is a thing. Because if you're going to drive your car off a bridge and gravity is something that is governing this realm, you deciding gravity isn't real will not make your car not fall off that bridge when you drive off of it. Your car is gone now.
Yeah.
And you are not out of the simulation.
The spoon is still a spoon.
Yes. You have no control over the realm. Yes, it's on your brain, but someone is sending those signals to your brain.
Yeah.
You did not send the signals.
That's why you die in the game, you die in real life.
Exactly. So if you're in a simulation, the whole thing is like, dying is not the way out.
Yeah.
Like, that is not the route.
Yes.
Because
you're not going to wake up.
Yeah. So if there's like a thing that's sending signals and its understanding of when you end the simulation because you have died in the game, you're dead in real life. So there is no real life. There's nothing. Yeah. Like, you were just gone. I'm sorry. But like, you're not getting out of the simulation. There's no pills.
No pills. No.
And yeah, it's just all like a matter of perception. So it's like we kind of just gotta make this simulation the best simulation life that we can live.
Yeah.
Live your best simulation life.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. There's no other route. Sorry.
Yeah. And like all those people are like, if this is what the simulation is, like it's rude because it made my life hard and all this stuff. It's like it had to do that so that we would believe it.
Exactly.
Like we can't have Pleasantville.
Yeah, because then it feels wrong.
Yeah.
And we want to get out.
We as human are flawed, so we only believe in a flawed existence.
Yeah. And I would argue, because of that, like, even the crappiest things are what make us good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, that's why.
That's what makes us real.
Exactly. And I, as someone who feels very uncomfortable with inauthentic emotions and like
dolls
acting or like, yeah. I get real upset. I don't know. I would get real uncomfortable in a I would also try to escape if it was Pleasantville. I'd be like, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
Good is
yeah.
I need struggle. I need pain. I need to feel alive.
Yeah.
Drive off the bridge, but survive it.
No.
Anything to feel alive. Just kidding. I don't know. But yeah, this is the only situation that we're in. Even if we're in a simulation, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, this is what reality is.
Yeah.
It's collective hallucination. You're welcome.